Good evening, everyone. It is February 1st. It's about 7:30 here on Wednesday evening. Wanted to hop back on and just kind of take a look at what models are saying currently. Look a little bit at the upper air sounding from Dallas Fort Worth here just to give us an idea of the atmosphere. And really just talk a little bit about how much longer do we have of this pretty significant winter storm here in North Texas. Thankfully, so far, I've been out on the roads a couple times, both at lunchtime and around 5:30. Here around Frisco, kind of northern suburbs of Dallas Fort Worth, actually pretty surprised at how good the roads were. Now, you can see that kind of right now, this is looking at the HRRR model, still below freezing here across North Texas and kind of Northwest Texas. So, would expect that to continue here for a while. Now, when we go forward in time, looking kind of at overnight, as well as going into tomorrow, we can see that kind of by about, let's see, this would be kind of early morning, 8 9 time frame. We actually get to where some areas are just above freezing here across North Texas, and so that is definitely a good sign. It does look like, for the most part, once we get into kind of late morning tomorrow into tomorrow afternoon, this is looking at about 3 o'clock tomorrow. We're saying high 30s, maybe 40 degrees a little bit out to the west. Definitely that allows things to melt. I wouldn't say that, hey, it's tropical weather, let's, get ready to head to the swimming pool, but certainly to get rid of this ice, get rid of the freezing rain, all of that, definitely that's where we can probably get past that. It's kind of mid-morning tomorrow. Looks like we can finally kind of get past that. When we look at kind of what's still to come precipitation wise, it doesn't look like we're quite done just yet. And so when we kind of move forward in time, we can see there's kind of a break here. And then when we get into kind of the early morning hours, this would be about like 6, 7 a.m. We can see that there's still some frozen precipitation that will be coming down. So again, not out of the woods yet, not done with the event. But I think certainly when we move forward in time by kind of mid-morning, it really transitions mostly into a kind of a rain event because, again, those temperatures are going to be just above freezing. Again, it's going to be a cold rain, still not going to be pleasant, still going to be slippery spots on the roads, but we should see everything really start to kind of melt off here pretty soon. So it looks like we've got, maybe another 12 or so hours to go, but by the time we get to kind of mid-morning tomorrow, I think we're going to see some pretty significant improvement there. Another thing that I did want to just kind of share, I had mentioned this a little bit in a video, I think it was yesterday, on why exactly are we seeing, all of this freezing rain and sleet, and not just cold snow that I think all of us would probably prefer. It's a little bit more fun if you want to get out and about. Oftentimes it's easier to drive in. This is an upper air sounding, and so this is taken from Dallas Fort Worth. Let me not go over that. Right here, this zero, that's 0Z, so Zulu time, that would be about 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So this was taken about an hour ago, and this is really the upper air sounding. And so this is from a weather balloon, and it tracks a lot of different things, whether it be what the wind direction is. The red line is the temperature. The green line is dew point. Going up is up in the atmosphere. Down here would be the surface. Down along here is what the temperatures are. So a lot of helpful information here. What we can see is that right here, this shows that the temperature was 29 degrees at ground level, and the dew point was 28 degrees. So below freezing temperatures here, that's what the weather balloon found. This dotted line here, this is the freezing line in the atmosphere. And so what we can kind of take away here is that this area right here is this little warm nose that is kind of punching through in the atmosphere. And so what we see here is that we're below freezing here at ground level. We're below freezing up here in the atmosphere, about 3.5, 4 kilometers up. But there is this area right here where we're past this line right here. And so that means that basically any precipitation up here that's forming it's going to be frozen up here because again it's going to form in this area, and then as it falls down it actually warms up through this part of the atmosphere about a kilometer off the ground. So then it melts once it gets through this area, but then when it gets down here it refreezes. And so that's why we're dealing with not a snow event. If it was all of this segment here was behind the freezing line, then it would be just snow all the way down. It'd be frozen and it would come down to the ground frozen. But because we have this area where, again, it's melting as it makes its way down, that's how we're getting the sleet and the freezing rain. If it's a really shallow cold layer, again, not very much area here, then it's going to tend to really just kind of be freezing rain when it gets down. It just doesn't have a chance at any point down here. There's just not enough area for it to really freeze back up. But when we look at this profile, again, there's really not much time for it to refreeze as it comes to the surface. And so that's why we're getting that freezing rain. It just doesn't have a chance to become sleet. And so it comes down as freezing rain. And then immediately when it hits the surface, it's below freezing and it freezes again. And that's what's causing some of the issues. So just a little bit of kind of a deep dive on more of the science side of things and taking a look at the atmosphere here. So that might be interesting. You might have wondered, hey, why is this all ice and sleet and why can't we get any snow? And it's really because of this little warm nose that we have in the atmosphere kind of coming out of the southwest that just doesn't allow it to be a completely cold profile all the way from way up above all the way down to the surface. So hope that was helpful. Again, looks like we're getting close to kind of being done once we can get into, this is kind of 5 o'clock here tomorrow. It's still going to be, maybe some precipitation, but at least it'll be rain, and that'll give us a chance to thaw out here moving forward. So hope this is helpful. Definitely everyone stay warm, stay safe. Hopefully we've dodged a bullet, don't have to have any, power outages or anything like that with ice, weighing down trees or power lines. So hopefully we avoided that. Again, everyone stay safe, and hopefully this was helpful and kind of giving us an idea of how much longer we have. So I'm certainly ready for spring, and I hope you are too.